right, everybody, good morning and welcome. We are going to be starting here in a little, we're ready to go. We're at 23 participants. So happy Wednesday, September 20th. We have some board members here in the room. If you can help us out, can you hear us clearly? Get some thumbs up. Thank you. Appreciate it. So hopefully we won't have as much trouble as last time. Thank you all for our last meeting and just being patient with us and we getting these systems. And with that, I'll pass it over to Kurt.
Good morning, everyone. We'll do a quick roll call and then we'll slide into public comments. So welcome to another exciting edition of the Coalition of Homeless Service Providers Board meeting. And this is open to members and the public, and let's just go down calling roll. So, okay, I don't know where all our 25 members are, but we'll come back to that when we go around and do the member updates. So as far as chairperson, well, let me go to public comment. Is there anything any member of the public would like to say in 2 minutes or less for an item not on the agenda?
Wes, do you want to go?
Sure. Good morning, Wes White, Salinas Monterey County Homeless Union. Checking in, and I don't really know what's going on currently, but as of a couple of weekends ago, there was over 10 disabled elderly females and families from the Country Inn in Marina that were looking to be exited with no alternative place to go. And I mean, they're already in the program. There should be some way to keep them in a program, if not through Cecil, through somewhere else, but they should not just be turned out. I meant to go by the county last week, and I'm not there currently. So, I mean, that's a lot of people to just like go, well, sorry, too bad, good for your luck. We gotta make sure to maintain those folks inside a program, and not let them slip through the cracks, please. So if you're not aware, Cecil out at Country Inn in Marina, that's a lot of folks, and there's got to be alternatives for those ladies and their families. So please catch them before the end of the month. That's when they're supposed to be turned out from the Country Inn.
Thank you, Wes. Any other public comments? And for chairperson comments, we have an open secretary position. So at the next board meeting, we would request anyone who would be interested in assuming that position. We would love to speak to you. If you could please send an email or call me or Jill or Judy, we'd be very happy to speak to you. And then next meeting, with luck, we'll vote in a new secretary for the board. Also, there has been some press for the coalition and the Home Key and the City of Salinas and the Pine Cone on 2 front page articles. So, Rod, if it would be okay, could we call on you to speak at the very end of the meeting on any updates from the city as far as that issue?
The city is not going to be commenting on that dialogue at this point.
Okay, then I would just call attention to that. If people would look back, there is some misinformation in the articles. I just wanted, it's public now. I just asked that you review it just so the board members are aware of it, because it does touch on some of our programs and our members here. Okay, moving on to make sure we have a quorum, we'll go down the roll one more time for member updates, and please chime in if you're here. So 2 minutes, please. Could we start at the top? Access Support Network, are you on yet?
Timothy Heaven, Access Support Network. Oh, everything's good. No updates.
That's perfect, Tim. Thank you. Okay. BACS. Cecil.
Hi, good morning again. This is Gina. Quick updates in regards to where we are with different programs. We are working with different nonprofits in Santa Cruz County to continue providing services to the residents of Pajaro. We have been working as well with the housing authority to issue vouchers, and right now we are looking for different housing for those consumers, impacted by everything that happened right in the Pajaro area. So we have about 15, 17 households that are working on finding housing, as well as working with the county and community homeless solutions to coordinate the housing search and housing placements as well. We continue working with different programs, Home Safe through the county and HHAP as well through the Department of Social Services. We have been putting on hold the referrals for HHAP as we are up to capacity. But still, once we close some files, we can open again the referral list for HHAP. We're doing really well. We are moving people out of the emergency motel programs that we had into permanent housing this week to residents who are at the country and moving to permanent housing. So we are working really hard with them on finding a place so that they can start using the housing voucher that they have. We are also in recruitment for a case manager and an accounting assistant. So anyone that is looking for a job, we have a couple open positions with us, and is still taking referrals for the assistive technology as well as for the TBI support groups that we have. Now we have in person as well as Zoom, so they can choose the preference that they have for the TBI support groups. I think that's it.
Thank you very much, Georgina. Chispa.
Hi, everybody. I don't have too much to say. We're approaching the end of construction of our 66 units out in the East Garrison subdivision. We are awaiting PG&E to set meters, which always is a stressful situation that you can't control, but that's where we are.
Thank you very much. City of Salinas.
Good morning, everybody. Rod Powell, City of Salinas. Just a few updates. As some of you may know, the city was just awarded an $8.1 million grant from Cal ICH for another encampment resolution grant. It's a 3-year grant to focus on the Upper Carr Lake area in the center east area of the city of Salinas, serving up to 90 people with pathways to permanent housing through home keys and other means. We are also anticipating the completion of the home key on Fairview sometime in October is now the more solidified date. The operators of Step Up and the city have been working hard to preserve the housing vouchers and maximize the housing vouchers that would go into that project. So we think we will have a majority of the occupants moving into that from the motel program and other sources to have vouchers. So that's a great use of them, and we're happy to see that that's moving forward. The city's also added to its affordable housing portfolio. We purchased another single-family residence in which we will be selecting a family from Share and housing them in this 3-bedroom, 2-bath in the city of Salinas, and also looking forward to adding an ADU on the property to maximize occupancy. And we're also turning our attention towards property acquisitions in the Chinatown area and continuing to look at options of a 25-unit motel that seems to be moving forward, as well as other single-family opportunities as they come forward. And also, ERF3 is on the horizon, we have understood from Cal ICH. So if there is any desire for organizations in different areas of the continuum of care here to get involved in that, I suggest that you start forming your group and project to identify, and the city is always happy to provide technical assistance or perspective from our experiences with Cal ICH, having been awarded in all 3 rounds of their funding for grants. Thanks.
Thank you, Rod. Community Homeless Solutions.
Speaking of Chinatown, we unfortunately currently have an outbreak of COVID going on there. We have about 6 to 7 people who have tested positive. We're quarantining using our trailers and hopefully getting that under control. So we should be out of that in a few days. But you never quite know for sure, so we'll be working on that. And then the other item is, as Gina mentioned, we're working with the county to put together another program for the Pajaro victims who have been displaced. And we'll be picking that assuming we get board approval next week. And really putting a big emphasis, we're partnering with Cecil, putting a big emphasis on housing navigation and case management so we can get these people housed. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Community Human Services.
Good morning. So for our programs, we have Safe Passage. We've got 5 beds filled. We have 1 more for a female that we've gotten referrals for, and we're trying to fill that bed. For Safe Place, we have our construction's almost complete. The stairwell is, the exterior emergency stairwell is looking great. We're hoping that by the end of next week, it will all be complete. We've added a handrail also in the front of the building and a small one over by the door to the youth shelter. Also, our youth shelter is fully staffed now with 4 shelter monitors. Our last shelter monitor started yesterday. At Casa de Nochebuena, we have hired our new office manager, Jeremy McCarter. He's doing great. We're still looking for 1 more shelter monitor for Casa. We've also had 1 family move into permanent housing at the beginning of this month, as well as at the end of last month, we had 1 family move out into transitional housing, and another one moved over to the Share Center to unify with her son and their pet. Everything else is going pretty good. At Schumann Hart House, everything is on track. The flooring's almost complete and looking beautiful. And we are so far still on track to open the first week of November. So once we, get a hard yes, then we'll definitely have all that information out for the public. And we are still in the process of hiring an office manager for Schumann Hart House, and I believe up to 8 shelter monitors and a food service coordinator. So if you know of any, we also have many more other job openings with CHS that you can either send them to our website or let us know. And one last thing is we are going to be at the Immigrants Health and Rights event or fair. That's going to be in Seaside this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 at the Iglesia de San Pablo on Nochebuena. And this is something that was planned and led by youth. They're going to have resources, nonprofits there, workshops, all about women's health and rights, free immigration consultations, and free medical screenings. I believe they'll have Florico dance performance as well and some raffles. And this was provided, some information that was provided by Gathering. So thank you. That's it.
Thank you. And Shea Center. Jill with Dorothy's Place.
Good morning, everybody. Dorothy's Place is used to having about 120 people per day transiting our drop-in center, looking for services or getting basic needs. We're seeing spikes of up to 200 per day now, which is a little bit alarming, so I wanted to let everybody know that. Even though the encampment area in Chinatown has been reduced to basically people camping on the Union Pacific tracks, we're still seeing a lot of traffic and an increase in traffic, people coming in to look for services. A lot of this traffic is vehicular, that people are coming in cars, people are living in cars, looking for a way to get out of living in their cars. Another thing I wanted to announce is that we're kicking off not our encampment outreach program and not our medical services in that outreach program, but our Hep C testing, counselor and testing services. It's just the kickoff. It's not going to be anything major yet, but we now have 9 staff members that are trained, state certified hepatitis C testers and counselors, and they're going to be hitting the bricks and getting out there. It's being supported by a grant through the Central California Alliance. We are partners with Clínica de Salud de Valle, who is going to be providing the truly medical assistance and the testing and treatment. We will be providing the initial antibody tests, counseling, transportation to doctor's appointments, and assistance with medications. And the last thing I wanted to mention is we still have two, maybe three open community health worker positions at Dorothy's Place. These positions travel between different departments, but mostly the drop-in center and streets to homes. We've had two promotions out of community health worker into our social worker ranks, so we need to fill these open positions. If anybody knows of somebody that wants an entry level into health and human services that has a not a clinical but a medical services bent, please give us a call and let us know, or ask them to visit our website. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. Downtown Streets team.
Hey everyone, Jocelyn Curran here. It's really business as usual. We're ramping up our rapid rehousing and getting through our wait list that built up as we were signing new contracts for this fiscal year. So we are just heads down getting things done. If anybody has anything that they'd like to partner with us on, we're always going to collaborate about all things housing and employment related. And that is it for us.
Thank you. Eden Housing. Gathering for Women.
Good morning, Stacey Elzebra Perkins here. Sorry I was a bit late joining. I had connection problems. As Jill said, we're actually seeing an uptick as well. We're close to our pre-COVID numbers, a little alarming. We're seeing about 30 in the mornings now. We were down to about 18 to 20 before this. A lot are in their cars, not on the streets, which I guess is a good thing for now. But looking for services, looking for housing. Staff had a Narcan training this past Friday, so they're trained how to use it, and we have some on site, which is excellent news. And we still have a position open for a case manager, housing navigator, full-time at our day center here, and I'm putting that in the chat in case you know anyone who's interested. That's all I have for now.
Thank you. The Housing Authority of County of Monterey. Housing Resource Center.
Hello everybody, HRC continues to carry, we are looking at about 105 cases on hand across all of our programs. We are hit with the COVID bug again in our office, so we're going back to just everybody being masked when they come into the office, and people working from home, so it's just kind of some people at the office, some people at home, a little bit split. When will that come to an end? But we have a housing specialist position that's still open. We've been interviewing for it for a couple months now and just haven't found the right person. So if you know anybody who would be interested, I can put the link in the chat. We have our landlord appreciation lunch in October. That's going to be at Gino's in Salinas. So we're really excited about that, and showing landlords appreciation, and then also just kind of asking them what's working, what's not working, as far as their partnership with HRC. So really excited to kind of beef up our Landlord Gold Standard program for 2024. And then lastly, we have our Hops for Housing event, which will be at the beginning of December. Those funds will also go with our MC Gives fundraising campaign, which is going to go towards our Landlord Gold Standard program. So a lot of good movement and traction with our landlord program, and we just continue to push through despite all the everyday barriers that we've been facing with. So thank you.
Thank you, Alexa. Interfaith Outreach.
Hi. I applaud everyone for everything you're doing, because we're kind of like in a different field, but basically we give grants, and we are in the middle of doing site visits to agencies that we gave grants to last year. As a matter of fact, we were at the YMCA discussing their domestic violence and then program, and then also to Dorothy's Place, and kudos to both for all they do. And let's see, we're taking applications for grants, and I'll put the website in the chat, and the applications are due on the 30th, and it's for agencies that are providing housing. And then also we're in the middle of our fundraiser and hope to have at least as much money as we gave out last year or maybe more. So that's it.
Thank you. Interim.
Good morning, everyone. Sophie here. I am pleased to announce that we have finally finished the completion of Sunrose Apartments, and residents started moving in last week, and our grand opening ceremony is scheduled for October 26th at 11 a.m. and that location is 439 Soledad Street in Salinas. We look forward to having you there. And like others mentioned, we also have a number of open positions that we are recruiting for, so please go to our website to see what those are. And when it comes to our HUD-COC funded properties, we have one vacancy at McHope, and we're working with the coalition to go through referrals for that. It's been vacant for, I think, longer than it should. The vacancy is at Moongate, so we use that funding for one of the Moongate apartments that does not have their own HUD-COC funding. That apartment has been vacant for a few months now, which is a little disappointing. And that's all I have to share for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Sophie. Meals on Wheels of Monterey Peninsula. Mid-Penn Housing.
Good morning. I have no updates this month.
Okay, thank you. And County Department of Social Services.
Hi, good morning. Lauren Suan Supa with DSS. I guess just a couple updates. We're actively working on familiarizing ourselves and being aware of the requirements for the upcoming HAP 5 and being on the lookout for that to be released within the next 10 days. Working on some preparations with AB 129. We're also actively working with the coalition in updating the Homeless Services Resource Guide to be released in January for 2024. So we look forward to engaging with all of you and making sure that we put out a comprehensive guide that's easy to use and includes all of your services. As Greg mentioned, we do have an item going forth next Tuesday to the Board of Supervisors to support a temporary project for those who were displaced by the Pajaro floods and ensure that anybody in that program or receiving some shelter support right now is able to get additional services to help ensure that they're able to be navigated to a permanent destination. And finally, we're working on getting organized in preparation of the inclement weather season, and we'll have more updates in the next month or so on that. Thanks.
Thank you, Lauren. County Office of Education.
I'll save mine for the presentation.
Okay, thank you. San Benito, HHS.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Just a quick update. I reported before that there are shelters being rehabbed, and we went through phase 1 of rehab, and now we're going through phase 2. So there's been dislocation of our homeless guests. They're at a local hotel, so I just wanted to notify you the roof is being replaced. So it's going to be for a duration of 3 weeks. So that's going on right now. Our limited team, has been conducting some outreach, and one outreach did happen yesterday. We did focus on several areas, including the 156 and 101, and this is the follow-up email to emails here with the COC with Caltrans, and we did go out yesterday, and that was a good one. We did meet up with the CHP officer, and he was there and supporting us there yesterday, so I want to report that. We're still very active in cleanup efforts at San Benito River. We've had, I would say, at least 6-7 full days of cleanup and removing tons of debris, and I think there's about 40 vehicles. We've removed about 10 that's been able to identify by the Sheriff's Office as good to move. They're still verifying the other ones to see who it belongs and such. So our goal is to remove all those vehicles as well. So that's still happening. The emergency RV program for families that were displaced from the floods earlier in the year, we're still providing services. We provided a emergency shelter for 13 families. There's 7 remaining, and we anticipate most of them out by the 23rd, and those that remain, we will need to see how we could best assist them. We are in the process of planning our winter shelter program for this coming winter, so that's my report.
Okay, Sun Street Center, Santa?
Good morning. Pueblo Del Mar is, I guess you could say, winding down. I think we have 8 families left, and we're getting assistance from Cecil and HRC as well, trying to find housing for those last 8 families, and then that part of the program will be closed. And so we still have 6 sober living environments, 2 in King City, 2 in Salinas, 2 in Hollister, and those are houses where people share rent and they agree to live free of alcohol, cannabis, and other drugs. They're full, but there's always movement. So if anybody wants to refer someone, you can go to our website and just look up Recovery Services, Sober Living Environments, and there's all the contact information for each house. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Salvation Army? And VTC, Lake Fighter Village construction continues. We will have a wall raising ceremony in the first week of November. Congressman Jimmy Panetta will be the speaker. We are partnering with a nonprofit developer out of Orange County, California, known as Jamboree, on the Enhanced Use Lease project, which is the old VA clinic. And negotiations continue on that. We're to the point of getting funding and drawing up site plans. VTC has 104 residents. We are at physical capacity right now. So we too are looking at ADUs, specifically American with Disabilities Act accommodating ADUs that we could put on our property. We have 3 properties, so the city planning would allow up to 6 ADUs. So that's our next phase of growth. That's it for VTC. And YWCA.
Hello, everybody.
Is there anybody? Oh, go ahead.
No worries. Hi, Housing Services Manager for the YWCA. Just quick updates. We continue to assist with individuals with financial assistance. So anybody who has an individual who is a survivor or fleeing from DV who is in need of that, please feel free to send over a referral. We are also continuing to support the individuals here at the shelter with our case management and trying to identify them some housing with our housing counselor. We're also working with our financial literacy program. We've had a couple clients within the past 2 weeks graduating from our modules that helps them with budgeting and creating a bank account. And we've transitioned a family over to our step-down house and hoping to do so with another family by the end of this week as well. We are currently hiring a part-time DV advocate. So if there's anybody who's interested in that position, that is still available. That's pretty much anything from our end as well.
Thank you very much. Is there any organization we missed who would like to speak? Okay, it's awards time. So awards for the member updates. The Best Dressed Award goes to San Benito County, so congratulations. The Best Buzz Phrase, it was a tight competition, but we have a tie. Dorothy's Place said, quote, hit the bricks. And Downtown Street said, heads down, getting things done. So those are great buzz phrases for us. And moving on to Best Background, the winner is again Donna Smith. And we will call it, instead of Game of Thrones, we'll call her background Game of Homes. So with that, the next step is letting Donna tell us about Monterey County Office of Education.
So Monterey County Office of Education is very large and encompasses a lot of different areas, of course. I focus on the Homeless Children and Youth Services Program. I'm the program coordinator for that. So for today, I'm going to be talking about our program because of its relevance with what we all do. So every year we identify over 10,000 Monterey County children and youth who are considered homeless, McKinney-Vento homeless. And my job, my program's job, is to serve all of our school districts, charter schools, alt-ed programs, preschool, Head Start, and then I also work with our higher education programs. And we provide support and service and leadership to all of our organizations. Plus, I also support all of you in what you do as well and collaborate. So during the 22-23 school year, we identified 11,714 children and youth. And of that group, I know that the majority of those are in that doubled up category. But we did have 289 that were living in shelters, 199 in hotels, 566 students that were unsheltered. We had a big increase in the amount of students who were living in cars or in encampments. And then unaccompanied youth, 55 students were unaccompanied youth. So we have seen quite an increase since I came on board 4 years ago. We are identifying about 2,000 to 3,000 more students than we did before. Also, we identified birth through 12th grade. So we do work with a lot of students who are not in our school programs, but maybe have siblings that are. We have quite a few liaisons. So I work at the county level. Every county office of education in California has a position like mine. And then my job is to work with all the school districts and charter schools. So each of our charter schools and school districts in Monterey County have a liaison. Some have 2 or 3. And I meet with them on a regular basis to support them and troubleshoot what's happening in their district. We are under the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act, and basically that act says that students get to go to school. They have the same challenging standards. We can't separate students. And the main one for us is we have to remove any barriers that have to do with enrollment or attendance or success in school. And that's the majority of our job. Also, we're under the Every Student Succeeds Act of 2015, which took McKinney-Vento and took it to a different level and kind of described everything school districts and charter schools need to do for their children and youth. So who qualifies for services in our program? Basically any student who lacks a fixed, regular, adequate nighttime residence. And that includes this entire list, which I know you've probably seen before, but the one that pops out the most and is one that challenges us a lot is the shared housing due to loss of housing or economic hardship. So we do have the majority of our families that qualify for our programs are doubled and tripled up with other families. Maybe they're renting a room. But what separates them from families living together out of convenience is that if these families didn't rent that room, they would be out on the street. So that's what we do when we identify students is how is this shared housing, what does this look like? So we are able to identify them and serve them the best we can. The law says information must be visible. So any of you who have organizations that serve families should contact me if you don't already have our information in your offices, which includes posters and also brochures that explain the rights of children in schools and families. I'm trying to go through this quickly so I know I can make my 10-minute deadline. We identify primarily through the housing questionnaire, which is mandated by law in California. Every district and charter school has to give a housing questionnaire at the beginning of every school year to help us identify who is homeless. We have to immediately enroll all students who come into our schools and say they're homeless or we identify that they're homeless without any verification of birth or vaccinations. They're immediately enrolled, and then we work with them on getting that information, but that is really key. These students also get to go to their school of origin, and so if they become homeless, let's say in Monterey, but they have to move to Salinas for housing or for shelter, it is our job to make sure they can get back and forth to school. They do have the right to continue their school of origin. We do have to provide transportation, and we want to provide transportation to get our students to school. That can look like buses. It can look like city buses or reimbursement for gas. It is mandated that we provide referrals for all these health support services for any families identified as homeless in our schools. And so that's why the liaison's job and the community coordinators are so key. Once we identify those students, we ask the families, what do you need? How else can we support you? And that's when we come to a lot of our community organizations. So we interact a lot with you because they may need the services that you offer. Academic support is crucial for success of our homeless children and youth. We know that sometimes, especially if they're living unsheltered or in temporary shelters, it can be very difficult for students to keep up in school. So we do train all of our staff members in our schools to make classroom modifications or give alternative assignments that reduce the stress of students. We also provide all their school supplies and backpacks. We provide tutoring, enrichment programs. All of the older students in high school are given college career readiness support, and that comes not just from the school district, but also from our higher education programs, as well as our office. We do have a number of family resources in Monterey County. There are 8 of them. The school districts actually open up their own family resource centers. We are opening a new family resource center right here in Salinas, run by Monterey County Office of Ed at the Salinas Community School. And that family resource center will be servicing all of the districts that don't already have a family resource center. So those are really important components for our community as well. One thing that was never really supposed to fall under the education of homeless children and youth services programs are the housing and shelter support. We are actually spending a lot of time with our families trying to assist them in finding housing, and that's why we work with a lot of you as well. So now we do the CARS assessments here. We are able to provide hotel stays up to 3 nights using American Rescue Plan funding. The United Way gave us a great grant so we can help with deposits on rentals. We also have hired people to do case management, and we run an after-school program at the Share Center. I have 2 employees there that go from 4 to 7 every day. We run a summer program, as well as we take them on field trips when we can on the weekends. We have one coming up. A big part of my job is professional development. So part of the law for McKinney-Vento says that everybody who works with children and youth in the schools, whether that be transportation, food service, teachers, administrators, have to be trained every year. So I offer lots of different professional development opportunities. I've created videos that they can access on our website. I also do in-person or Zoom trainings, and you can see I have a schedule there from last year of all the trainings that we do. We also have many conferences. We have a Foster and Homeless Students Conference, Tri-County area, and we also, once again, are working on our Human Trafficking Symposium. We collaborate with all of you to be able to provide the best resources and services for our children and youth experiencing homelessness, and that's why I really appreciate this group, because I've gotten to know you over 4 years and have been able to talk to you and find out who our kids are that we haven't identified, and also ask you what can we do to help them more. So I just want to thank you for supporting our children and youth programs, and as usual, always available to answer any questions you have. And once again, if your program identifies families and children, children and youth families, please let me know so I can make sure to connect them with their school district, because it's important. We can't serve them, we can't help them unless we know who they are. And so once we do that, then we can give them what they need for their education, and then work with you on other areas they may need assistance with. So that was very quick, but that gave you kind of an idea of what we do on a daily basis. We've been very busy. I am so happy that we have been able to hire some extra people in my program to help with all of these pieces. We are funded under the Education for Homeless Children and Youth funding from the federal government and also American Rescue Plan money. And so we've been able to expand our program, and we'll continue to work on that. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Donna. Are there questions for Donna or the Department of Education?
I don't have a question, but I just have a comment, having been an ex-school teacher. Thank you so much for all you're doing for these children, because they can be left behind, and a lot of them don't want to be. Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Any other comments or questions for Donna? And as always, the slides will be provided in the next month's read-ahead package. So we're very grateful for members that are doing these presentations. We have 25 members, and over the course of 2 years, everyone will get a chance to do a briefing and update us. And as Donna said, the key is really collaboration. So thank you so much, Donna. And do I have an organization that would be willing to volunteer for next month's presentation?
Yeah, if possible, we can in San Benito County.
Excellent. Thank you, Enrique. So San Benito County Health and Human Services will be up for October. Thank you very much. And with that, turning it over to the coalition.
All right, so we had a couple of folks, the county had already touched on this, so I'm just adding our little bit to it. We have AB 129, HHAP 5 application. The state is releasing that on the, as late as the 30th in this month, and the application for HHAP 5 will be due in March 2024. So we have, there's a couple of different deadlines and parameters that are being met, so we're working on that. And then coordinated entry systems overhaul. We're going to be really looking at the assessment here. If you were part of our youth coordinated entry overhaul, looking at Danny, who is the leader in that, it's going to be a very similar process, but just really looking at our overall system. We have an internal meeting launch with Homebase, who will be the provider for that process. Next, in 2 weeks, October 4th. So we're really excited about that. If you are part of our HMIS Oversight Committee, we are just pinging to you all that HMIS data elements. There's new data elements that are being brought up to HUD, so that means there's different categories. How do we actually, different categories, different fields. So there's going to be updated trainings. So just make sure that your team is up to date on the new trainings that are going to be coming out. They haven't come out just yet, but they will be. And then point in time count. We are coming close to that time where in January we will be conducting the homeless census. So we've already contacted Applied Survey Research, who was a wonderful partner last time, and they will be supporting us this time around, but we will be starting to reach out to the last point in time committee to be a part of this point in time committee. So if you are interested, please email myself and Mahnor to showcase your interest, and we will definitely include you. And last but not least, it's not on the agenda, I did want to introduce some new staff. So we have, to my right here, we have Teague Maruzak. Did I say your name? Last name? Okay. And Teague is the new CARS coordinator. So Teague, I'm just going to hand it to you to just give a quick introduction.
Hey guys, I'm Teague. I just moved here from Austin, Texas. First time in California, actually. So learning kind of the area and also the new culture here. Excited to start and work under Delia and also build the CARS team.
Awesome. Great. Welcome, City.
Slowly learning everyone's name.
And then we have Sol that is online. Sol, if you want to just, Sol is our new YLE Youth Lived Experience coordinator and YAP coordinator. So Sol, I'll just pass it on to you.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all doing well.
My name is Sol Rivera. I am the new YAB or YLE coordinator. I actually came over from Dorothy's place, so I do have some experience when it comes to being a service provider, and I'm hoping that those experiences help to make the program flourish.
Thank you. And with that, that is it for my update. Any questions on any of the updates that from the coalition from anybody? Wonderful. Well, I think you all have my contact information, so feel free to email us at any time. And I'll let Kurt adjourn the meeting.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments for the open public meeting before we adjourn the first part? All right.